Good evening, poetry lovers. On the Neelam Saxena page, here we are with our International Poetry Meet number 33. So I would like to start it with few lines. A peel of skin or a ripened fruit, mounds, plains, and seas en route, connecting a billion pesky dots. With random acts of kindness, humanity walks. Am I audible perfectly? Okay,
Yes, you
okay.
are audible.
Great, great, great. So here we are, as I said, for the international meet number 33. And I would want you all to do some homework, the audience who are listening to us, watching us. So imagine a world filled with peace and art and artists. There will be no war, only love. Letters, paintings, sculptures, music, poems, hugs, kisses, affection, care. A world where borders diminish and peace freely flows. Is it possible? Is it even possible? Do let me know in the chat box as the program commences. I'll tell you at the end of the show. Okay. So, with warm greetings to all the poets present, Nayma, Rolf, Dot, Unmesh, and Neelam ma'am, I begin the show today. With our first poet, I've just introduced her. She is coming all the way from London to join us in this condensed frame. She's a self-taught British Moroccan writer with a published collection called COVID, the Wordy Winds of a Mind under lockdown. Her writing is influenced by cultural duality. She's interested in female voices, their challenges, and the taboos around the mental health in the diaspora and the communities. She's also an active member of London's vibrant poetry and spoken word community, the international poetry community, and has performed her work at several poetry open mics. Those the events include the Grenfell 5-year anniversary too. Her work has also featured on BBC Radio London several times and has been featured in the lockdown exhibition in the House of Commons in June 23, which explored female voices during lockdown. So I would like to invite Nema, but I would just say that one thing that poetry insists on being is transparent, and we are in the world of filters. But when mask starts falling off, we come to truly know the true self, the real world. So I would request Nema what she has to unmask today. Over to you, Nema.
Thank you very much. I'm going to share two pieces with you today. First piece, no filter. This is me. Here I sit, growing into my age jacket, accepting my invisibility, rebuking my fragility. Am I irrelevant? Wearing my wrinkles as a sackcloth and ashes. Should I reinvent myself for the applause of the social media masses? Twits, twittering on Twitter, showcasing shells on Insta, scrolling and trolling, perfecting personas on FB, a photoshopping melee, a veil of airbrush sadness. I need more because I am less, filtering faces and not words, subsisting on praises, captive in light cages. The eyes that don't see me, the ears that don't hear me. Should I put on my filter and dance to the hollow beat of a digital trance? A pound of flesh under the knife, erasing evidence of a lived life, fattening up my lips and arse, a fatted calf as a stranger berates me in the looking glass. Are my eyebrows on fleek? Am I scathingly savage enough? Am I too woke or not enough. I log in and await your critique. Let's celebrate the cover, not the book. Post the pic as the panel rates you. Have an opinion, and we hate you. Immersing ourselves in the virtual brook. I have wandered the London streets, donning my expiry as an invisibility cloak, as the gaze of the lit quickly retreats before dissolving into the city's big smoke. I have sat with Eliot as we shared despair, after shop worn, shared niceties, over tea and cakes and ices, exchanging troughs and peaks as we laughed and cried, bitching with Bukowski, waving to Sylvia as we died inside. Empty voices filling the space with speech, their flawless faces behind a screen. Me out of touch, them out of reach. Where reality and the virtual scheme. I have haunted the void in between. Should I question the truth whilst believing the lie? The hordes flock to TikTok, famous for 15 minutes, to shock, to rock, to mock, to exhibit without limit. But I am old, and the light in their eyes has died. Thank you. And the second piece.
Wait a moment, Nayma. We'll come to the
Sure.
next round. Yeah,
Okay.
we would
The next
like to,
round. Okay,
hear
thank
from you.
you. Sure.
Yeah. So sorry to cut you there, but that was intense. I'm sure all of us liked it. And yes, I mean there is lot of it beyond the anonymity and behind the screens. A great escapade. So I would now head to the Alps from London. So in the Alps, I'll tell you about the next poet for the evening. He's coming from French-speaking part of Switzerland. He's Rolf Doppenberg. He's a full-time nomadic writer. His work includes experimental poetry, travel, prose, and fiction, and he also explores the groundwater territories. His books are published by several publishers. He's regularly invited as a writer to international literary festival. He has been diving in the Indian cultures. In addition to poems published in Indian anthologies, there is an essay about his first experience in India, which is called Anugraha Durga Devi Mandir. So I would say for Rolf that, there lives the India in every Indian's heart wherever they go. But there's also an India that lives in the people who visit this country and carry it away in their hearts. I would just, and it's an apt time to invite you, Rolf, because since the summers have already hit us, there will be rains, there will be aesthetic dance by our national bird, peacock. Let's see what you have to say about it. Rolf, over to you. Stage is yours.
Thank you, Juhi, for the introduction. Thank you, Neelam. Greetings to everyone. I will directly read my poem. As Juhi said, it's about a peacock, a famous peacock. When you open your wheel, is all what remains but darkness? No, inside sprouts a grain of light. O peacock of Bharat, splendid and noble, when you open your wheel, you draw a world mandala. With each opening, it is different. Once a rangoli of blossoms, once an enchanted palace on the banks of the river, once a luxuriant alcove in the middle of the woods, once a temple of gems. O peacock of Bharats, you become a woman, standing with your left foot on your right thigh, your head girded with purple petals, your hands joined at the top of your crown. You weave a kingdom of tales, all of luxury and voluptuousness, each story born on your forehead appears on your shimmering wheel like a world come to life. Thank you.
That was wonderful, wonderful.
Thank you.
Imagery, metaphorical, experience, of course. And those who have read it correctly, yes, his name is Rolf Ishwar. So, that's the comment which has come for you. You are an Indian soul, and why not? So, thanks so much for that poem, Rolf. It moved me. Yes. Now, I'll move on to someone who has always inspired me in many ways, in the sense, the way he renders. Okay. He's a performance poet and a spoken word artist. He's from my country, my city. So I've been inviting Unmesh Mohitka, and his author of poetry collections Light Shadow Life, The Missing Verse of the Soul, and Let's Unmesh Life. He has been a featured poet at multiple international open mics and podcasts. He's performed at international events like Singapore and San Jose for poetry festivals. He's been part of multiple poetry anthologies, writes in English, Hindi, and Marathi. Also a globetrotter, likes to visit countries, and the number is 22 now. So, friends, there's none who is not smitten by love, though it's an overused, abused word, but still, each time it hits differently, fair and unfair both. And then there are wars too. Let's hear from Unmesh what he has to say about them, love and war.
Mute.
Thank you, Juhi. Thanks a lot, Neelam. Here we go. No, no, no. All is not fair in love and war. So many poems, movies, and books written about love. Love is business, love is war, love is fight, love is flight. If love goes out of business, economy will tank. Love is searching in nothingness. Love, is it a reality or just a chemical reaction to add flavor to life? The kissing, the missing, the loving, the cuddling, the fighting, the caring, the crying, the dying, the waiting. Don't get me wrong. I completely get it. Falling in love, love at first sight, love without boundaries, love song drenched in rain, love suffering in vain. All is fair in love and war, 15th century quote, still used, misused, and abused. No, no, no. Everything is not fair in love and war. This favors the rich and the strong to hide their wrong, sell their love songs, kick people like ping pong balls. It has ruined so many lives and countries, empty people. Lonely in the jam-packed bazaars of loveless hearts. No, no, no. All is not fair in love and war. The romantic concept of love, myth for me. Love might exist or not, but I see lonely, forlorn eyes looking into infinity in waiting. The search for love is immortal. Few people love the search more than love. Once love is found, search is dead. Imagine searching for something which might not exist at all. This is something very, very strong. The very basic foundation of human society lies on something which might not exist at all. But still, I say, all is not fair in love and war. My search for true love has taken me too far. So near, yet so far, yet so far. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Wow, wow, wow. That was fantastic.
So while we all process the energy level up done by Unmesh, kudos to you for this poem again. And that's why I said that, in many ways, but then the inspiration is in the rendition you do. Okay. So, friends, we move on to our next poet to request to render a poem for us. And we all agree that our doctors always say that the posture is correct, our spine is upright, all things will work fine. And due to the technology or our sitting timings, on screen timings, things haven't been right. So, why not invite a biomedical researcher whose focus is electric activity with the brain? John Krieger, he's an author of hybrid collections, which are known as Discovery and When Danger is Past, Who Remembers. He's also a 2020 Pushcart nominee and a 2020 Creative Nonfiction Foundation Science Story as a Story Fellow. Don's work has appeared in Seneca Review, the Sai Shimbun, Beltway Quarterly, the Pittsburgh Post Gazette, and n number of other prestigious e-zines. Has been translated into Farsi, Greek, Italian, German, Turkish, Romanian, and Portuguese. Wow, wow, wow. So, Don, we can't wait to hear from you. Please render a poem for us.
Thank you, Juhi, and thank you, everyone.
Please go. Please go ahead.
Lament
Okay.
for those held hostage tonight. On October 7, 2023, terrorist gangs breached the Israeli-Gaza border, killed 1,200 and kidnapped 250. The ferocious response of Israel's military has killed 10,000 innocents and counting, and turned the lives of Gaza's millions upside down. Tonight Israel lives, sworn to defiance and blood, in fear for her children, shackled by fanatics or dead. Gaza waits breathless the hell strike to come. Her creatures hide in her ruins, surrounded by innocents. How many would kill me if they knew me? How many would I murder if I could? Which of us is clean? I judge myself without mercy. Yet the brutal cycle we cherish in God's image is beggared by his cruel glory. I am a Jew without hope or faith, yet I can still pray and do. One more time this night, may your death angel pass me by. Leave me whole, your chosen, terrorized and waiting for tomorrow's horrors. If you truly exist and hear, then hear this. You are a beast and unfit. So too your zealots, whatever their name for themselves or you. If I held your might, Almighty God, in that instant I would erase you and your memory from all that is. If you truly exist and care, open the earth and destroy me. For though I claim nothing over Moses, your darling, I claim goodness over you. Surely we would be better off without you. But who, if not you, can stop the madness? Who even wants to? Surely not Israel, whose privilege stands on her armed might and her God given destiny. Surely not the dispossessed Palestine, whose only strength is destruction. Surely not their Arab kin, whose only gifts are weapons forged for an ancient feud. And surely not America, we whose nuclear bullets hold the world hostage, like those Israeli hostages shackled in Gaza tonight, like those Gaza innocents beggared by Israel's might. That's lament for those held hostage tonight.
Very moving. Very moving.
People go for this. Yes.
For
So
some
here,
time, I was
yeah,
really not understanding what to say.
speechless.
Yeah.
So yes, there are news, there are numbers, there's shackles, there's rubble, and we forget the next day. And that's just a strip on the map. But then a lot of it to come with Dawn's poem. I'm sure the voice will reach the warmongers, and we would, surely find a solution, as I said at the start of the event as well. And now, since we, are moving almost half past the session, I would request our curator, Neelam Saxena. But why don't I give you a brief introduction for her? She has authored 73 books, which means with the blink of my eye, she already has authored and published one. She holds 3 records with the Limca Book of Records, received several awards that include Suhanlal Dwivedi Puraskar for Children's Literature from Maharashtra State, Hindi Sahitya Academy, the prestigious Premchand Award by Ministry of Railways, Rabindranath Tagore International Poetry Award, Freedom Award by Radio City of Lyrics, Royal Lifetime Achievement Award, and along with a long list of awards and honors. She was listed by Forbes as one among 78 most popular authors in the country in 2014. So, ma'am, there is always a cliche lesson that I used to learn in my MBA days, and I used to, just copy paste that line that, this is a continuous process. So we all say learning is a continuous process. And however, what is that one thing we really need to learn today? Let's know from you that what we really need to learn in today's world. A poem from
I'll,
you.
yes, I'll render the poem One Learns Things. And most of the poems are autobiographical. This one is completely autobiographical. As he comatose lay on the bed in a government hospital, since back then private hospitals at that time weren't accepting serious patients in my city, I, a 24-year-old girl, would sit on his bedside on a stool for almost 16 hours a day, hoping and praying that my father would survive. Soon, his back was full of bed sores, and I would be busy nursing him, providing ointments, feeding him. I even learned the basics of actual nursing. The soiled bed sheets, the stinking toilets, the deaths nearby all became a part of my life, and I accepted them. Just when hope was aroused that he might survive, he succumbed to death. While we were about to take away his dead body, the nurse asked commandingly, "Can you donate something for the hospital? After all, we've done so much." My eyes were wet. They did certain things automatically. When I went to get the death certificate several times, the clerk said, "Something is required for getting it so fast." My eyes were again wet. They did certain things automatically. When I joined back at my workplace that time, the boss peeped through his spectacles and asked, "Did your father really die or did you fake it for giving exams for some other job?" This time, there was a storm in my eyes. I didn't do anything automatically. I barged back into his room and shouted. I had finally learned how to retaliate. I had finally learned how to retaliate. So that was my poem.
Brilliant one. And most of us, like you only said, there's a quote from you that why are you so strong? And you answer that I didn't have an option. And yes, that's the quote from you yourself, and that's how I would want to sum it up. having faced the similar circumstances, I totally get it and totally relate, and most of us do. And that's the harsh reality, that we have become so rigid that we doubt and we cannot trust with ease. And we, make business sort of anything and everything, like you said, automatically. Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, you're on mute, I
Yeah,
guess.
I was muted. So sorry. So now it's my turn to introduce the beautiful host for the day, who is looking also very amazing and doing a wonderful job at curating the session. So Juhi Gupte hails from Pune, India, and loves to ink her thoughts in English, Hindi, and sometimes Marathi, just like me. She's constantly striving to work on lost forms of poetry to be brought to today's readers, which is unique. Her poems are published and recognized in several international anthologies. So that's Juhi, and she would be speaking about something. What happens, history says that we tend not to speak about certain things, but they need to be spoken about. And her poem is titled Hidden, Hiding. So it's for the LGBTQ community. And let's hear Juhi as she renders her poem. Over to you, Juhi.
Thanks. Thank you so much, ma'am. So, yeah, the title is Hidden in or Hiding. And I would just come with my poem straight to the point, because as Nama also, says that we need to voice, the female voice should be vocal and everything. A mermaid swam to a beach. Signboard on the shore read, reserved for fishes. Had known this sand and mist, but her kind wasn't on the list. Onlookers chose to laugh. Some considerate pitied on this creature bereft, who had tail and scales but wasn't mouthing breath. She wrapped stole all over. It wasn't enough to cover a girl's face and long flowing braid. This being is cursed, they said. A human walked in, a two-legged walked in, then gave a awful glare. He couldn't believe too, for a woman in fish was rare. That karma is the reason, thought mermen in the hiding. Few sea horses rose the voice. Snails paraded for their pride, asking to be accepted as fish by the fish in their own water world. That's it from me.
That's so nice, especially the last line. It was a punch. Thank you.
And here we have a lot of comments pouring in, and I request all the eminent poets here from corners of the world to kind of respond to them whenever you get time. And I, come up with few names: Kumar Prasanna, Rupal Rao, continuously been with us, Sushma Singh, and that too on the weekday. It's a work day for most of us. Gayatri Joshi, many of you. Thanks so much. These are the names I could see on my screen for now. And now that I move on to the second round, we had heard about the love bite. Now let's talk about the bug bite, the insects, the bugs, the crawlers, the creatures. They have not even left technology, because I work in information technology. They're everywhere and they bug us all the time. But how about the bed bugs? This is a cue to the next poem by Unmesh, and I request him to render for us.
Thank you, Juhi. Here we go. My question today is, are you feeling itchy today? One of the greatest invention of God is small microscopic bedbugs. They have everything which a gorilla fighter needs. They hide in places which you cannot even think of. In motels, five-star hotels, in your bed, or the chair which you are sitting right now. They don't differentiate, unlike human beings. They treat all human beings as equals, just a bag filled with red blood. Whole world is a pool of blood on their plate. Their battlefield is your bed, but they don't sleep on it. One should never sleep at work. Very professional. They can be inside the crevices of your bed. In fact, they can hide on the wall just waiting for the nightfall. And when their enemy is asleep, they just suck the enemy's blood out using incremental method. They don't drink all the blood at once, like a dumb, bloodthirsty Dracula. They preserve their prey for the next day. They keep sucking on. They keep on sucking of their innocent, unaware, and ignorant prey. Their stealth can put the world's greatest secret service to shame. The difference is, bedbugs never fail in their mission. They know power is in numbers. They are not only interested in their food, they reproduce like jungle fire. Just imagine drinking blood in the night and sex in the day. They reproduce in such a way that they change the demography of the house. The owner of the house feels lonely. Thanks God they are not voters. The bedbugs will win a landslide victory. Human extinction might be triggered by bedbugs one day. Killing the bedbugs is declaring war against yourself. Finding Dracula was easy. Just go to his castle and fight, or he comes to your house uninvited. Here, enemy's castle is your house. If you destroy enemy's fort, you are destroying your house. The pest control people. Take the atomic route. Take no prisoners. They just spray the smelly pesticide or the bedbug spray all over the house, turning the house upside down. It is like burning the jungle to kill a rabbit. Still not a sure shot cure. A small mistake by them and the bedbug rises from the ashes like a phoenix to attack their enemy with full of gusto. But my question is, are you feeling itchy today?
Oh my God.
You made us laugh, laugh, and laugh.
I really am scared to go to sleep today, and and
You
why
are
not
in
some
Pune also.
debugging?
You are
Yeah,
in
I'm
the
in Pune
same
as well.
city.
Yes, same city as you, Unmesh. Yeah, oh my God, oh my God, that you changed the entire face of the event again. Okay, so as we were speaking of India and archery is something which we know from books, our tales and folk tales and fables and books of belief. So, friends, we say archer. As you can see in Rolf's background, there is a picture. An archer has a quiver full of arrows, and so does the poet. Only his arrows are silent and hard hitting. I would request Rolf to come up with his poem for the round two.
Thank you, Juhi, and thank you, Unmesh, for your very living poem. Silent Arrow. You are an archer, your legs bent, your right arm holds the bow, on your lips not a word, at your forehead thoughts rustle, under your breastbone the flesh pulses, at the top of your head the roots of vision grow. Your left arm tightens the string. You release your arrow from your mighty bow, and each arrow buds in flight. Each one becomes a bundle of blossoms. It will stick painlessly in the chests of everyone. Silent arrow stuck like the hoopoe bird appears. Thank you.
Oh my God, what an imagery!
What?
Could
Yeah.
almost paint
Yeah.
it, the posture of an archer. Yeah. So, Rolf, as they say, it comes true for you that a painter is a poet and a poet is a painter. You've sculpted it so well. Um, I move from Switzerland to Americas now, and I invite Don to render his poem.
In the beginning, we in America wake to the horror, 1,200 dead, 250 abducted, Israel poised to destroy as God did to Sodom. We swear never forget, or free Palestine, or some other such meme of the moment. Babel, the towers at city center in flames, smoke and harbor stench billowing silver in the sun. And so it goes on and on. We care as we watch on TV, but we live in an orchard, figs and cedar, fresh bread and warm shade, clean work and time stretching to the evening cool. The innocents and righteous of Israel and Gaza may as well have died with Lot's nameless wife, killed by God for caring because he never did, even for his own. So why should we? We in America may as well have lived as imbeciles in Eden, where knowledge was forbidden, when hate and humanity were new. That's in the beginning.
Wow, Don, it's again a touching one. I'm sure if anyone wants to say anything from the Poets Forum.
It's really, really very touching, very emotional. Thank you for such a wonderful poem.
Yeah, and as I mean, just to, flip the mood, like as we say that any attack, like Unmesh mentioned, the bug attack, which happens on the world, America solves it, as shown in the movies at least. I would move on to our next poet who is from the UK, Nayma. So Nayma, I find myself at crossroads, and so do all of us, and I really don't know what choices to make. It puts me in limbo. I think it must have happened with you as well. So I request to render a poem on the same topic.
Sure. Wonderful. Sorry, shall I go ahead? Okay,
Whenever you are ready.
thank you. Limbo. Africa calling. A convoy in the shadows. Constant and ever present. A home, but not a home. Anointing my edges. Still, I fit nowhere. Here, my name is foreign. My appearance questioned. But where are you from? Originally, probes Goldilocks, cornfields in her hair. I have reconciled with the damp, dark streets, pierced by dimples of obtrusive, artificial light, illuminating an artificial pond, the dry wit and caustic humour, the sarcasm, the armour we wear, the sleazy, sullied snickers of bawdry backstreet jokes, the women who reject gazing at the floor, audaciously holding his stare, the jangle of frenetic city life, the busy lives of others, filtering into our busy breaths, in the darkened alcoves and desolate cubicles of existence. Sartre echoed, "You are in bad company." the clattering coffee shops amid acrid sips of Arabica, the inane monologues on current affairs, clandestine consultation, the temporary respite, soaked in caffeine and butter pastries, London calling, cosmopolitan and enthralling. It is the home of a lodger, the key to the kingdom, presenting the illusion of belonging without belonging, the solitude as natural as blinking. There, my name is familiar, my appearance fusing with the dry alleyways and whitewashed facades, facing off a fierce sun in the hodgepodge pavement cafes, where once Ginsberg and Jean Genet sucked on mint tea, where tolerance is privately practiced, but never publicly preached. The lamb and cumin infused air that coils and slithers before reclining across your skin like an impermeable veil. The language of my ancestors, tinged with my Britishness, my speech fluent, yet betraying, as wide-eyed locals chuckle like a pacifying parent. You're not from here, are you? In the Medinas, the night sky turns down the heat as families parade in their best attire. Sunflower seeds whose saltiness fizzes on the tongue, sugar-roasted peanuts washed down with canary iced lemonade. The men who gawk belligerently, their eyes betraying the indignity of a shameless woman who refuses to look away. The crested clay tagines joyously bubbling away, terracotta fat jolly uncles, the enticing wisps of flavour, the fragrance of l'enfance, the gnawa drum beats, a throbbing pulse, dancing, chanting, healing, a portal to the beloved on the wings of a trance, a cultural hub that captivates and offends, a shared identity, an organic pond rich with community, kindness, support, love. To serve is to be with Allah. The allotted roles, deeming marriage and its fruits the paragon of ambition, gender hindered, scornful eyes from the arbiters of decency as I light my cigarette. I am without decency and without God, casting off the shackles of both in the dogma of belief or illusion, bleeding bequeathed injury, spurred on by my scars. You're not from here, are you? The cross of the diaspora, life's longing for the other, each suit offering some comfort, but ill-fitting nonetheless. Thank you.
was almost engrossed in it, and so all of us were. It was a profound one, and what a take! The alliterations, the lines, the choices of words, we all may agree. And as we were speaking of the summers and the temperatures behind the stage when we all gathered about which city does what in March, okay, and experiences summer, winter. So this is a wonderful planet to be on because you experience a lot of weathers altogether. And when we speak of weather, there is something we Indians at least wait for. That's rains. And Emma may not agree because it's all grey in the UK, as I hear from friends. So, so I spoke of rains earlier. Let's hear from Neelam ji and get drenched in her words about rains.
Thank you, dear Juhi. So, my poem is titled Rains. The rain's magical. You peep through the drops and you enter another world where there are no worries, no tensions. The drop has a cozy couch where you can lie down and dream, a nice rocking chair where you can sit and weave beads of poetry. Sometimes even the rainbow glow enters inside the drop, taking you in a world of complete ecstasy. I've also often felt it falling on my face, each drop slowly touching the length of my cheek, making me feel like an incredible flower petal. I've always enjoyed getting wet in the first rains of the year. At times, the onset of rainy season signifies that life will move along and erase those drops of tears that involuntarily fall off and on from the periphery of my eyes. So that was my poem, Rains.
How beautiful! How beautiful! So again, I mean, a very like wonderful one, and we could almost smell the petrichor. And I can't wait to witness rains. But let me, go through the summer heat first. Yes, ma'am.
True, true. So we should always imagine something beautiful, whatever situation we are in. So even if we are in summer, we should imagine rains.
Yes.
For Indians, rains are
Yeah.
something very beautiful. For somebody in UK or Switzerland, it might not be. So moving on, we have Trinity of gods. One is the creator, one is the preserver, and one is the destroyer, but not in the literal sense. It doesn't mean that the destroyer will keep destroying everything. Of course, the creator does keep creating, but it also has a history that he was stopped from creating on his own will, and only the preserver or the destroyer could let him create. So these are our gods, and the one known as Shiva or Mahesh is what Juhi is going to speak about. So, Juhi, over to you.
Thanks so much. And that would be the last poem for the evening now. So do give it a ear. And this is about Mahashivratri, that is the wedding anniversary of Lord Shiva and Parvati in India, and immensely celebrated. We do fasting. On the pretext of fasting, we eat everything which is available, all sumptuous dishes. So yes, I would come up with how the wedding happened and what happened after the wedding. Okay, the immortal beings when they get into wedlocked. What is it? So Cosmos darts a day to bound the timeless. The dark-skinned Kali, breaking the taboo, has asked the hand of the enlightened one. The August nods in yes to marry the promise. The Ekam, the only one. The Ekam is queried of his lineage. He agrees to abide by the auspicious Muhurat, the ageless ascetic, vows for a few lifetimes. Now, what happens post the wedding? And her Facebook was updated. Parvati's Facebook was now updated. The cover picture is of icy cold Kailasa, unceremoniously welcoming. The Devda tolls, the serpents crawl. Unlike her friend's unlike her friend's Lakshmi's life, prosperous at the ocean beds. Shiv and Parvati sagaciously sail through the sting of being childless, raising foster boys, enduring love. As Unmesh spoke of true love, so this was the true love. Raising foster boys, enduring love, as the wedlock of two mountain dwellers blossoms with each Mahashivratri passing by. That's it from me for today.
Wonderful, wonderful. Very nice hosting and beautiful poems
Thank
from
you.
all the poets.
Yes. So we
It's a
spoke of
pleasure.
wars,
Thank
we
you
spoke
so
of
much.
love, we spoke of bugs, we spoke of attacks, and we spoke of the wars within, like Nayma mentioned, the filter, the limbo, the choices we make. And we have Rolf, who has an Indian soul. I mean, it takes a person just to feel it, not to be from some place, is what he, portrays to us today. And we have condensed like a Pangea today in one screen from all corners, from Pune, from Mumbai, and from Switzerland, from London, from USA. Dawn is in Florida today. And here I would say for the International Poetry Meet number 33 in Lewis Carroll's wordings, and then I will answer the question I had initiated at the start of the show, that put cats in the coffee, put mice in tea, and invite Queen Alice for 30 times 3. So this was 33rd poetry meet and ends on a very happy note. And to answer your question, yes, war may divide, but poetry unites. It conserves. So you are poetry lovers, and that's why you have joined the forum today. And whosoever couldn't join, please, watch us later. I would thank each one of you, Neelam, Saxena, Rolf, Ishwar, Don Krieger, Emma, Unmesh, and all the wonderful poets in the audience who have been, commenting. We've been moved with your presence over a weekday. And thanks so much again until we come back. Thank you so much.
Thank
I end
you.
the show here.
Bye bye.
Bye.